Hi all, my name is Emilio, and I am the module leader for Executive Decisions and Grand Challenges. I'm sure you're aware that the landscape of business has changed pretty dramatically over the past few years. It's a bit hard to miss. COVID-19, the exponential growth of technology, large language models, geopolitics, and a massive increase in sustainability awareness has presented challenges to the modern executive that are fundamentally different from previous generations. And this module is all about building capacity for being the type of executive who can navigate and adapt to these and future challenges. So let's start where we are right now.
What happens when businesses unite for a better world? Back in the year 2000, against the backdrop of rising inequalities, economic uncertainty, and environmental degradation, a group of enlightened business leaders stepped forward to answer this question. Together with governments and the United Nations, these leaders committed to work across borders and industries towards a more ethical, inclusive, and resilient global market. And today, thanks to all of you, the United Nations Global Compact is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, with more than 20,000 companies in more than 160 countries worldwide. Our 10 principles on human rights, labor, the environment, and anti-corruption help future-proof businesses, offering a roadmap for building resilience both in times of stability and amidst global crises and uncertainty. We have been uniting and mobilizing businesses for a better world for 25 years, but there's still so much more work to be done. By committing to gender equity and living wages, by innovating for climate action, by protecting vulnerable water sources, by scaling sustainable finance, by ensuring resilient supply chains, and so much more, we will continue redefining the role of business in society. As we commemorate the 25th anniversary of the UN Global Compact with renewed ambition, renewed collaboration, and targeted action, don't miss this opportunity to join us. Together, we will mobilize stronger companies to build a more prosperous, hopeful, and inclusive future. Thank you all.
So it's no longer enough just to make a profit. Businesses are being held accountable for their impact on the environment and on society at large. But here's the thing, how do we go from performing sustainability to actually being sustainable? And what can executives do in order to facilitate this transition? Now imagine you're running a company today, and you have shareholders who want profits. You have employees who want meaningful work. You have customers who care about your values, all at the same time while you have society asking you to help solve some of the world's biggest problems. Now, the Sustainable Development Goals are all intimately interconnected, and they're connected in many ways that are often invisible on the surface. So where do you start? Now, these aren't your typical business challenges where you can just apply a standard framework and then move on. These problems are what we call wicked problems. Now, wicked problems are complex, they're interconnected, and they are emergent problems, where traditional cause and effect problem-solving approaches tend to fall short. And that's exactly what this module is about. We are going to be uncovering the tools to make sense of and navigate these problems, and then to go about making decisions that actually help us address these grand challenges of our time. Now, this module is structured in 3 phases, and each of these phases builds on the previous. So phase 1 focuses on the foundations. Rather than jumping straight into solutions, we're going to start with problem generation. So things like, what are grand challenges? How do we define sustainability beyond the buzzwords? How do wicked problems emerge? And what makes them so difficult to solve? Now, phase 1 is extremely important. It is critical because we can't solve a problem if we don't understand them. And a key challenge for executives today, and why some executives create what we call type 3 errors, is that modern problems are often far more complex than they initially appear. Now, phase 2 focuses on crisis and resilience, and we take a particular focus on what COVID-19 has taught us about organizational strength and organizational adaptability. Now, the pandemic was basically a stress test for every organization on the planet, and it really held up a mirror to how we, as a society, handle crisis. So how can we learn from this? How can we learn from ongoing crises? How can we prepare against future crises in a way that enhances our collective and individual resilience? Now, phase 3 focuses on pro-social and regenerative organizing. So how can businesses move beyond harm towards creating positive impact? So we no longer just want to minimize the harm we're causing. We actually want to make positive impact. Now, this is not about corporate social responsibility as an add-on. It is about fundamentally rethinking how organizations operate in order to contribute to solving problems rather than avoiding new ones. Now, throughout this module, we're going to be looking at established and also emerging theories. And we're going to be examining real-world examples of companies that are hitting and sometimes missing the target. But we're also going to be drawing on your lived experience. So your work experience is going to form a key catalyst for the content of our modules. Now, instead of traditional lectures, our time together in this module is going to be in the salon format. Now, the salon format is inspired by the format of intellectual gatherings of revolutionary France. We are going to come together to debate ideas and build knowledge through conversation. And in doing this, we're going to be drawing on our collective experiences. Now, this approach is fundamentally collaborative. I know some of you might not be excited about actively engaging in discussion and debate with your peers, and it will require a bit of work on your part, but I promise you that it will be worth it. So you're going to be expected to prepare beforehand, based on a collection of central readings and pre-recorded case studies. And our in-class time will be wholly devoted for these discussions and for these debates. So in them, we're going to dig into complex problems where we think across disciplines, balance multiple stakeholder interests, and practice making decisions that consider long-term impact alongside short-term results, all while at the same time drawing on your lived experiences. Now, these kind of things are no longer nice skills to have. They are competitive advantages. But the key principle of our salons is that we challenge ideas and not people. And what I mean by that is that we will undoubtedly cover topics that elicit diverging views. And it is good, it is okay to disagree. From disagreement comes understanding, and from understanding, we can begin to coalesce around solutions. But we never make it personal. So lastly, this module is going to have 2 assessments, each of which make up 50% of the final mark. So the first will be in the form of a vlog, so very similar format to how I'm speaking with you now, where you're going to identify and address a grand challenge. The second assessment will be in the form of an essay, where you're going to draw on your own work experience, and you're going to be developing a strategy for developing organizational resilience. Now, both of these assessments are individual, but don't worry, I will be with you every step of the way. Never, ever hesitate to ask questions while you're in this class. Questions are, after all, the best way for us to oscillate around and find answers to these grand challenges of our time. So I look forward to working with you, and I'm sure we're going to have a fantastic module together.